The news broke like a thunderclap on a clear day. It was the kind of story that instantly seized the attention of an entire nation, sending shockwaves through every home, office, and street corner. The air was thick with anticipation, as if everyone instinctively knew that something monumental had just happened. It started as a whisper, a leaked report from an international energy consortium. The details were murky at first, passed in hushed tones and encrypted messages, but the implications were staggering. Someone, somewhere, had seen the numbers, and they were too big to keep secret for long. Then, it exploded across every screen in the nation. Televisions blared urgent updates, radios crackled with speculation, and social media feeds lit up with rumors and breaking news alerts. In an instant, the story was everywhere, impossible to ignore. Hidden trillions, Philippines sitting on world-class oil reserves, screamed the headlines. The word seemed almost unbelievable, like something out of a dream or a movie. Could it really be true? For a country used to typhoons and political squabbles, this was different. This was not another storm to weather or another scandal to debate. This was a revelation that could change everything. The announcement claimed seismic surveys had confirmed a colossal oil field deep beneath the contested waters of the West Philippine Sea. Scientists pored over data, their faces lit by the glow of computer screens, realizing the magnitude of what they had found. Billions of barrels of oil, enough to transform the nation's economy, enough to put the Philippines on the map as a major energy player. The numbers were staggering, almost too large to comprehend. Trillions of cubic feet of natural gas, the kind of resource that could power cities, fuel industries, and light up millions of homes for generations to come. News anchors struggled to contain their excitement. Their voices trembled with the weight of history, knowing they were delivering news that would be remembered for decades. Experts pointed at maps and charts, but their message was simple. This was a game changer. Economists, geologists, and political analysts all agreed the Philippines was standing at the threshold of a new era. The discovery was historic, potentially redefining the nation's destiny. For the first time in a long while, hope surged through the streets, uniting people from all walks of life. On social media, hashtags like Pinoy Oil and PH Next Oil Giant trended instantly. The digital world buzzed with pride, curiosity, and 1,000 questions about what this could mean for every Filipino. Every Filipino with a smartphone joined the conversation. From students to workers, from city dwellers to those in the provinces, everyone was suddenly part of a national dialogue. Memes showed the Philippine flag planted on an oil rig, jokes and dreams mixed together, as people imagined a future where the country was rich, powerful, and respected. Would gasoline prices finally drop? Would the daily struggle at the pump become a thing of the past? People dared to hope for relief from the burden of high fuel costs. Would electricity become almost free? Could families finally enjoy the comfort of air conditioning, bright lights, and modern appliances without worrying about the next bill? The questions reflected decades of frustration. For years, Filipinos had endured high prices, unreliable service, and the feeling that prosperity was always just out of reach. Beneath the excitement was genuine hope. Hope that this discovery could finally lift millions out of poverty, create jobs, and give the next generation a brighter future. This was about dignity, about standing on our own 2 feet. It was about proving to the world, and to ourselves, that the Philippines could shape its own destiny. For a moment, the nation held its breath. Time seemed to slow as people waited for more details, for confirmation, for the first steps toward a new future. The usual divisions of politics, class, and geography seemed to melt away. In that moment, everyone was simply Filipino, united by a shared dream and a newfound sense of possibility. In coffee shops and sari-sari stores, the topic was the same. Conversations buzzed with excitement, skepticism, and wild speculation about what would happen next. People who'd never thought about geology or international law were suddenly discussing offshore drilling. Overnight, the nation became a country of armchair experts, eager to understand the stakes and the science. The government issued a cautious but optimistic statement. The rumors were true. Officials promised transparency, responsibility, and a commitment to ensuring that the wealth beneath the sea would benefit every Filipino. A treasure of unimaginable value lay waiting beneath our waters. The nation stood on the edge of a new chapter, filled with hope, uncertainty, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The news traveled far beyond Manila, echoing across islands and mountains, reaching even the most remote corners of the archipelago. It was more than just a headline, it was a spark that ignited conversations in every home, every street corner, and every marketplace. For a jeepney driver caught in the endless snarl of EDSA traffic, the announcement meant more than just a fleeting headline. It was hope for cheaper fuel, a chance to finally breathe easier at the end of a long day behind the wheel. He imagined a day when his hard-earned pesos wouldn't vanish at the gas station, when he could bring home more for his family, and maybe even save for his children's future. The possibility of relief from rising costs felt almost within reach. In a quiet fishing village in Palawan, excitement mixed with apprehension. The sight of oil rigs on the horizon brought questions. Would these new giants bring jobs and prosperity? Or would they disrupt the delicate balance of their way of life, the rhythm of the tides and the catch? An elderly fisherman, his hands weathered by years at sea, said, "If this means my grandchildren won't have to leave for work, it's worth it." For him, the promise of opportunity at home was a dream he'd long held close. In universities, students gathered in lively debates, weighing the risks and rewards. They discussed environmental concerns, economic growth, and national pride. But above all, they talked about a future where they could build their dreams without leaving their homeland. The oil discovery offered a new alternative to working abroad. Young professionals and fresh graduates saw a glimmer of hope. An opportunity to pursue careers and ambitions right here, close to family and friends. The brain drain, once seen as inevitable, suddenly seemed reversible. The thought of staying, of contributing to the nation's growth, became a real possibility for many. Overseas Filipino workers, scattered across the globe, felt the tremors of hope too. In airport lounges and distant cities, they watched the news on their phones, hearts pounding with cautious optimism. Video calls, once filled with stories of daily struggles and longing, shifted. Now, families dared to dream together, of reunions, of building a life back home, of futures no longer separated by oceans. A domestic helper in Hong Kong wiped away tears, imagining a permanent return, a chance to be present for birthdays, graduations, and everyday moments she'd missed for years. A construction worker in the Middle East felt a surge of pride, holding the Philippine flag a little higher, believing that his sacrifices might soon help build a stronger nation he could finally come home to. The news was validation, proof that the Philippines was destined for greatness, that its people's resilience and hope were finally being rewarded. The dream was no longer just about individual success, but about collective triumph, a nation rising together, united by hope, ready to shape its own destiny. To truly grasp the significance and power of this news, we need to look back and understand the roots of our current situation. For generations, the Philippines has been deeply dependent on imported energy, especially foreign oil. This reliance has shaped our economy, our daily lives, and even our sense of security. Every time global oil prices surge, it sends shockwaves through our country. We see it immediately at the pump: long lines, rising costs, and growing frustration. Our vulnerability to international politics and market fluctuations means we're often at the mercy of events far beyond our control. For ordinary Filipino families, these price hikes are more than just numbers. They force impossible choices. Should we cut back on meals, delay paying bills, or even pull a child out of school? The impact is personal, immediate, and painful. Our fragile and outdated power grid only adds to the burden. Electricity rates here are among the highest in Southeast Asia, straining household budgets and making it harder for businesses to thrive. Frequent brownouts and power interruptions disrupt every aspect of life. Businesses lose income, food spoils in refrigerators, and students struggle to study in the dark. This isn't just a matter of inconvenience, it's a real barrier to progress, holding back our dreams and ambitions as a nation. The hope for stable, affordable, and reliable energy is not just a wish. It's a fundamental need for every Filipino family, and a key to unlocking our country's full potential. That's why the discovery of our own oil and gas reserves is seen as a game changer. It represents the promise of energy independence, economic growth, and a future where we control our own destiny. With our own resources, we can finally dream of a brighter, more stable future, one where every Filipino can thrive. and our nation stands strong on its own. At the heart of this hope is the reed bank in the West Philippine Sea. It's more than a geological feature, it's a national symbol. Reed bank could hold enough gas to power Luzon for decades. Imagine lower power bills, stable energy, and new jobs. But reed bank isn't alone. The Sulu Sea and Cotabato Basin also hold promise. These undisputed areas could be developed more easily, spreading growth across the nation. Each potential field is a chance to share wealth beyond the capital. Developing these sites could transform Mindanao and the South. The benefits could reach every Filipino, not just a select few. Energy insecurity is a burden Filipinos know too well. High costs and unreliable supply limit opportunities for families and businesses. Small enterprises struggle to survive when power is expensive or unstable. International investors look elsewhere, costing us jobs and growth. In rural areas, students study by candlelight, widening the educational gap. Lack of energy means lack of opportunity. It perpetuates inequality and holds back our people. Reliable, affordable power is the foundation for a better life. Without it, progress remains out of reach. Our neighbors show what's possible. Brunei's oil wealth funds free education, healthcare, and prosperity. Malaysia used its resources to build modern cities and a global energy giant, Petronas. The contrast with the Philippines is stark. While they prospered, we struggled with shortages and debt. Their stories are a roadmap. With the right governance, oil and gas can be a blessing. The Philippines can follow their path to energy independence and prosperity. Why has our potential remained untapped? The answer: the chains of our past. Political instability and shifting priorities have stalled long-term projects. Investors hesitate when policies change overnight. Territorial disputes, especially with China over Reed Bank, add another layer of difficulty. China's aggressive actions have blocked exploration. Asserting our rights risks conflict. Backing down means losing resources. Diplomatic paralysis has left us stuck. Our energy security remains hostage to both internal and external pressures. Breaking these chains is essential to seizing our future. The need for new energy is urgent. The Malampaya gas field, once our energy lifeline, is running dry. It powered Luzon and saved billions in fuel costs. But its reserves are dwindling fast. Without a replacement, power plants will switch to expensive, dirty fuels. Electricity prices will spike, and environmental gains will vanish. We're standing on the edge of an energy cliff. The new oil and gas discovery is our only viable path forward. Developing a new field takes years. We have no time to waste. Malampaya's decline is a blaring alarm for immediate action. The West Philippine Sea dispute is daunting, but it shouldn't paralyze us. The Sulu Sea and Cotabato Basin are within our territory and ripe for development. Focusing here lets us make progress now, attracting investment and building expertise. Developing Mindanao's resources could bring peace and prosperity to the region. This two-pronged approach, diplomacy in disputed waters, drilling in undisputed ones, is strategic wisdom. Revenues and experience from these areas will strengthen our position for the future. The question remains, will we seize this historic chance or let it slip away?